Hi family, friends, it's Mark Candle here in my home in Hartwick, New York. Just looking around. It's June 23rd here, Sunday, and I wanted to make a video about this here foundation. This foundation, to the best of my knowledge, was built here in 1770. Its original use was a hop drying room. And this farm used to grow a lot of hops, and the hops were intended for the General George Washington's army in the 1770s. And I don't know what the history was after it was a hop drying room, but at some point this place became a milk farm. There used to be a huge 92-foot long by 36-foot wide red barn right over there with three big huge silos. You can still see the foundations, and another pump room, and that all burnt down in the fire in 1989. So anyhow, when I bought this place February 1998, you could not see this foundation, and the whole foundation looked like that foundation up there. You can still see parts of the wall because I've cleared it out. But those plants there, they totally surrounded this foundation inside and out, and to the best I can find out from people, for at least 80 years. You know, it was here for 250 years or more by now. But the last 80 years, nobody really knew there was a foundation here. It was covered, surrounded inside and out with those big trees. And it was about 6 years ago I finally decided I'm going to clean it up. And then I found out for years and years the previous residents here took advantage of this big surrounded of trees, and they dumped all their garbage behind this foundation, and I literally had to remove, I think it was 48 bags of garbage and trash that I had to dig out with rakes and shovels and put in construction bags and remove it. Once I had all the garbage out, well, I guess the first thing I had to do was go through with a big sawzall and cut all the branches off. The trees look just like those. I had to cut all the branches off down to just the naked stump, haul all the branches over to an area right over here where I would burn them all. I used to have a big fire pit right there surrounded with big stones. And so then after I cut all the trees down, 33 of them, there was 33 trees surrounding this whole foundation in and out. And one of the stumps was right there in that corner. Man, that sucker, I couldn't get it out for 3 years. I had to soak it. One time I even tried soaking it with gasoline and burning it, and it finally rotted to the point where I yanked it out. So after I trimmed all those trees down to just the stump, then I had to have hand dig out most of them and then yank them out of the ground with my little Dakota 4x4 Dodge truck. And then I had to go back through and backfill all those holes, because it was, you know, a bunch of holes everywhere. So I had to make it so I could mow the lawn. But then this area, the inside would get high weeds every year, and I'd have to go in there with a weed whacker and clean them up. And so last year I finally decided, I went through and I removed every stone, every chunk of metal. And I'm talking about 25 to 30 pieces of metal. This was a building that probably burnt down at some time with a lot of utensils in it, and nobody ever did anything with it for decades, maybe even a century, who knows. But I painstakingly went in there, cleaned out everything, every stone, every chunk of wood, every piece of metal, and cleared this whole thing out. Took me quite a while. A lot of stones. And then last year I jokingly came in here with a push lawnmower and I mowed it down. And I joked with my son Mike, I go, you know, this foundation's been here 250 years. I'm the first person to ever go inside that foundation with a lawnmower and cut it down. So today I was looking out my front door there, looking over this foundation, and I thought, you know what, I need to widen up that opening, which I did. I removed a bunch of stones. They're going to go over and be used as walking because they're nice flat stones. And I rearranged this whole corner, especially that big stone. So now my Kubota mower can fit in there. It's parked right over there. So just about an hour ago, I just raised the blade up all the way, went through and mowed all this down, and then I could see what it looked like, so I dropped the blade back down to 2.5 inches. So I tell you what, since 1770, I'm the first human being to ever take a riding mower into this foundation and mow the grass. And now I get to do that, you know, every time. And I'll just walk around, do the perimeter with a weed whacker, or maybe even yank them out by hand. So I just wanted to share this information about this old foundation. And by the way, that foundation up there was, I think it's 42 foot long at one time I measured. And I cleared out 18 trees in front of that foundation. And that one I was told used to be the quarters, the sleeping quarters for the hands, the laborers that worked on this place for years. And I own all those trees. I own back 750 feet. And I keep it mowed, as you can see, a lot of it. I even mow a pathway back to the back. You can see it back there. That's in case I want to go camping or something. And I own pretty much that whole valley. I'm from that stake in the ground you see over there, 752 feet wide, to that big spruce tree you see on the other side. And I own the valley down to the creek, and now there's basically a huge pond out there that was created because of beavers. But this is Mark Tandle's home in Hartwick, New York. That's the story of that foundation. That's Bullwinkle. It's been here on this property since the day I bought the place. Still here, Bullwinkle. So y'all have a nice day. I'm going to say peace out here from Hartwick, New York.